Yo, this is Zenzi. Whew! Alright, this is going to be difficult. You see it? I don't know. I'm getting reflections. This is the dawn of everything. We're on page 389. We're talking about Chauvin de Huantar, South American society. No empire, none of these. It's a society in the Peruvian Andes and adjacent coastal drainages. It came from the Amazon all the way to the Pacific. Okay, and we're talking about the art. Chauvin, I don't know how to say it. Chauvin images, and I'm a bit triggered because one of the nemesis of my life, an Indian man, had this name. Very strange. It's all Africans who went on row about. And so there seems to be this is all happening in South America. Anyway, all right. Chauvin images, by contrast, are not for the uninitiated. Crested eagles hurl in on themselves, vanishing into a maze of ornament. Human faces grow snake-like fangs or contort into a feline grimace. No doubt other figures escape our attention altogether. Only after some study do even the most elementary forms reveal themselves to the untrained eye. With due attention, we can eventually begin to tease out recurrent images of tropical forest animals, jaguars, snakes, caimans. But just as the eye attunes to them, they slip back from our field of vision, winding in and out of each other's bodies or merging into complex patterns. All right. So what we're talking about is this is a multimodal image that they equate to storing a mental palace. Oh, yo. I see the men and their mind palaces. And I'm here to tell you, I have a mind planet. A theory of everything from consciousness forward. Which, that was page 388. Let's go to the top of 389. In the case of Chauvin, we can actually be on fairly safe ground in assuming that these images were records of shamanic journeys. Not just because of the peculiar nature of the images themselves, but also because of a wealth of circumstantial evidence relating to altered states of consciousness. At Chauvin itself, snuff spoons, small ornate mortars, and bone pipes have been found. Among its carved images are sculpted male figures with fangs and snake headdresses holding aloft the stalk of the San Pedro cactus. This plant is the basis of huachuma, a mescaline-based infusion still made in the region today, which induces psychoactive visions. Other carved figures, all of them apparently male, are surrounded by images of vilca leaves, which contain a powerful hallucinogenic. Released when the leaves are ground up and snorted, it induces a gush of mucus from the nose, as faithfully depicted on sculpted heads that line the walls of Chauvin's major temples. In fact, nothing in Chauvin's monumental landscape really seems concerned with the secular government at all. Almost no obvious military fortifications or administrative quarters. Almost everything, on the other hand, seems to have something to do with ritual performance. And the revelation or concealment of esoteric knowledge. Intriguingly, this is exactly what indigenous informants were still telling Spanish soldiers and chronicles who arrived at the site in the 17th century. For as long as anyone could remember, they said, Chauvin had been a place of pilgrimage, but also one of supernatural danger, on which the heads of important families converged from different parts of the country to seek visions and oracles, the speech of the stones. Despite initial skepticism, archaeologists have gradually come around to accepting that they don't know lies. All right. It's not just the evidence for ritual and altered states of mind, but also the extraordinary architecture of the place. The temples at Chauvin contain, and that is Chavi with the accent N. I don't know how to say it. Contain stone labyrinths and hanging staircases, which seem designed not for communal acts of worship, but for individual trials, initiations, and vision quests. They imply tortuous journeys ending at narrow corridors, large enough for only a single person, beyond which lies a tiny sanctum containing a monolith carved with dense tangles of images. The most famous such monument, a stela called El Lanzon, the lance, is a shaft of granite over 13 feet tall around which the old temple of Chavant was constructed. A well-lit replica of the stela, often assumed to represent a god who's also the axis mundi, or a central pillar connecting the polar ends of a shamanic universe, has pride of place in Peru's Museo de la Nación. But the 3,000-year-old original still resides at the heart of a darkened maze, illuminated by thin slats, where no single viewer could ever grasp the totality of its form or meaning. If Chavant, a remote precursor to the Inca, was an empire, it was built on images linked to esoteric knowledge. All right, y'all. I am your 2022 guide to really non-esoteric knowledge. We've all got this inside of us. We all know these things to be true. We are an immensely capable organism. Beings of tremendous potentiality in the sense of quantum physics. That's right. I'm going to use E = mc squared to get you to understand the majesty of consciousness. And I'm going to be the one to put together the next most famous equation. Energy may equal mass times the speed of light squared. But what does human energy equal? Well, I'm not going to be the girl to walk around solving for he. I'm going to solve for she. Sustainable human energy equals, to get started, mc cubed. That's right, 1 + 1 = 3. That's how wise, feminine, holistic knowledge comes at you in 2022. 1 + 1 = 3. 1 man plus 1 woman equals a third baby. Case closed. And once you see the power of the math of life, 1 + 1 = 3, you realize 1 + 1 might also equal 4, etc. Up to birds and bees levels of solving that equation. Stuff can be accounted for by math. Life cannot. I am the developer of life-centric thinking, founder of #wellbeing philosophy, the developer of the philosophical hypothesis of bioelectromagnetism, which yields a unifying theory of human energy, potential, and well-being. This is a theory of everything, y'all, from consciousness outward. And I could find it right here in the data on the ancestors of the South American mountains. I don't know. We didn't have no days. 8,600 onward to whenever the Incas started coming around. All right. Harmony.